Welcome back, YouTube, to some more Rheum. As promised from the last video, we're going to take a look at the recently unlocked character called Cries the Hardest. Sure, why not? On easy mode. And the right way, not, or rather, the down way, or not the throw up way. It's about time that we kind of played the game as it was intended, right? And not just, cry into our diapers and make sure we fine-tune every little thing so we can beat this game effortlessly, but with 1,000 cheat modes on. And as we can see, this one has a little different of a sort of shot variant. Slower shot speed, of course, but it's kind of homing. Well, I mean, it is homing, I suppose, right? It's this large arrow-shaped tier. Starts off large, and then when it breaks off, it can split into others. And immediately what we can find out is that, it's doing a lot of damage, but its drawbacks are kind of in twofold, where you're getting swarmed rather easily, and then on top of that, like we found with some homing and some homing shots in other games, is that you don't necessarily get to choose what you're firing at, and you're at the sort of mercy of the AI or the programming to know what you want to fire at, even when it's homing, when you have 4 or 5 enemies, whether, in the same close proximity, where is this bullet going to hit? So you can kind of tell, despite the fact we got a few hit point upgrades already, that we are easily getting swarmed. See if we can adjust the volume real quick. That should be a little bit better. I mean, honestly, this stuff should be really good for bosses, where you want that sort of continual damage. No matter where you are going to hit the boss with this big clunky arrow, and depending how this is upgraded throughout the game, it might be better suited for mobs and sort of swarm enemies, but right now we are just, among as well as like sort of leaking damage from every orifice, and just sort of trying to mitigate the damage as best possible, which, at least for this run right now, it does not seem to be all that great of an attempt. Ultimately now we really want to rely on other forms of damage, like using that sort of lightning bolt from our gauge. Now it's not so much a sort of extra fun thing. Now it's almost a necessity until we can kind of get our weapon up to snuff, and we are just like, as soon as we're getting an upgrade, we're losing it as well. So we're still hanging on with 2 hit points, hearing the heartbeat of the last boss here, but not doing the very best that we could be right now. Partly, we're to blame if we haven't necessarily been playing it on... If we've been playing throw-up mode a bit too much, like, hey, that's probably why. But we really need to sort of kick that habit. This is something that's strange that I found out recently. I don't know if it's my computer or the game recently, but yeah, this attack, some tremendous slowdown. This certainly could be my computer with rendering, I don't know, maybe the flash animations with that attack, but all of a sudden, yeah, really drops out. And we'll find out during this run. This is really the only attack this happens for. So very strange, but nothing that we can't work around. And as you can see, we have a sort of weird red balloon attached to our eyeball as well. I'm not sure exactly what that's to indicate, whether it's the sort of just a player model to indicate we're using the guy with these sort of homing arrows. Doesn't everything seem a bit faster now that it's we're not experiencing that slowdown? That's kind of funny. Not too much left. You can kind of tell once these arrows do hit, it is kind of a big chunk of health off. Using the gauge as soon as we're getting it, really, just to get the very most out of our hit points. I'm not really feeling the most confident to face the Keeper of Eyes. So we're off to stage 2. Not to say that we couldn't find other things, or find new things in this run. I think ultimately the goal for this run right now is to kind of just get the clear on it. I mean, you think in this stage right now that going against those big sort of Cthulhu monsters, you know, this is what our weapon is used for, but you can see this sort of mob does sort of, or the different types of mobs from everywhere in the stage do pull away from, you know, the larger targets that you really should be dropping, you know, your most, you know, devastating attack on. So when we're talking about, you know, being a big crybaby with any character, you know, I suppose this is certainly you know, certainly well fitted. You know, this type of attack right here certainly works pretty well when you're talking about, you know, 3 or 4 large arrows kind of covering the screen, but you don't get it for very long. Feeling a little healthier. 3 hit points, as well as 4 bombs, which might as well be 4 more hit points, if played correctly. See, and certainly, I think we were lucky to get the shot there, but yeah, in situations like this where you see that sort of weaker enemy that has that sort of connection with all the other enemies, so if you kill him first, the ones connected to him will explode as well. And certainly, you just want to home in on him and shoot him. Luckily, I think we got a lucky shot there, but you know, I think you can find that sort of sometimes the priority of the arrows can sometimes work against you. Pretty nasty special attack here. If only we could keep it, right? But slowly drifting away by the second here. Yeah, you can definitely see here swarm enemies. Really oh man, you can tell. Yeah. When you're not firing as much, you know, you certainly do suffer with trying to kill things off the screen, and their bullets for that matter as well. And not doing so well. Already kind of digging into our auto bombs potentially if we're not getting a health up. Alright, luckily, looks like we're ready to get a health up. Maybe saving it. There we go. Using some damage there. Not getting the slowdown for this attack. So who knows? Who knows? Strange experience in level 1 there. You can kind of tell this is a perfect, perfect character to dispatch this guy. You know, the boss is gonna move around and really to no avail. He's gonna get hit by every arrow essentially, no matter where we are on the screen. So as long as we have one solitary target, we can kind of move around and do our best to dodge, knowing that, you know, every shot's going to do damage. There's that sort of power-up enemy. It's going to give us that nice death laser if we can only, you know, restrain ourselves to dodge just a little bit instead of losing 2 hit points trying to hit him with the laser a bit too premature. But there it is. On to stage 3, which is, as far as we know with this character, final stage, but we'll see. And you never can be too sure here at the end of the stage, you know, as well. You know, is like, is there, you know, sure, like the first character, is it the first level you wait? Is it the second level with the second character? You can, you know, it's just sort of like, you know, what are you looking for? You know, at the very least, here's a, so we can at least leave this second stage with a special onto the third stage, which we certainly need now that we're not doing the greatest in hit points, as in 1 hit point. A good amount of bombs. And as we've said before, sort of auto bombs at this point, so virtually hit points. And once those run low, well, they're going to warn us as if they were hit points. So just like that, 2 bombs left. But to be honest, you know, what's strange is that, you know, despite the fact that we didn't actually find anything by accident in this run, you know, it wasn't like we didn't necessarily keep a curious eye open, you know. It's not like that we were like, maybe this is it, maybe that's it. What's strange is that nothing really piqued my curiosity, or not necessarily curiosity, but my suspicion. You know, as you're playing on, you're like, well, it could be this, it could be that. But I'm not so sure I found anything, so... You know, I think the, you know, waiting until the level was over. But maybe we have to beat the game with this character to unlock something else. Maybe that's the next task on the achievement list, maybe. But, you know, finding other secrets, I'm not so sure we really got any clues for it this run. You know, like I said in previous videos, I'm not so sure they're all going to be, all the secrets are going to be hidden in kind of the same way. Should be getting that gauge rather soon. Oh man, things are getting crowded. There it is. But sadly, like, you know, using a bomb in the process as well. Oh, and there goes our hit point that we just picked up. So, easy come, easy go. Not the hardest part here, with these enemies that really couldn't take a whole lot of damage, but they do fire those fast, you know, circle shapes. So... And they certainly, you know, they become more annoying the more they survive on the screen. So, you know, you would think immediately that they're good opponents for some cheap pickups with this character, but really didn't prove to be so. At least initially. Oh, we're getting real low, as in... final hit. Not really messing around with there. And that's actually a great pickup. When you use your ability to get a hit point and then it comes with a bomb, you know, it's almost like getting 2 at that point. So, final boss, as far as we know. So, I mean, at the very least, we can say, oh, hey, great. At least we know with this character we can make it a good attempt of completing all 3 levels. You know, not the easiest ever, you know. It will take some more practice, I think, certainly. You know, knowing how this sort of arrow performs and how it acts. and just dealing with swarm enemies, particularly in the process. Oh, there goes one hit. Oh, and there it goes. Tentacled. But, what do we expect? It wasn't a glorious run. It wasn't a good run. It was rather ugly. And we took it to the final boss, or the third end stage boss. So we'll certainly improve on that later. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, do all that stuff. And we'll come back and play some more Rheum in the future.